Hello everyone and welcome to this video of mine. Today I will talk about the recent bill that was passed in Jakarta on the 15th of July regarding the revised special autonomy law. And as you'll know by now, the people of West Papua have actually rejected the revised special autonomy law. So this is the law that was forced upon the people of West Papua, and this is against the democratic right of the West Papuan people, where Indonesian government has again forced something that the people of West Papua have actually rejected. So um, my point, the reason why I'm doing this video is because after this revised law or this revised special autonomy law was passed on the 15th of July in Jakarta, we have seen an increase in human rights violations in West Papua. So I'm just beginning to question all this idea about the special autonomy law in West Papua because, since the special autonomy law came about in 2001, and the duration of the special autonomy law, the 20-year period, we have seen an increase in the human rights violations in West Papua. And we have seen ongoing military operations in West Papua. Right now, there is a war going up in the highlands of West Papua between the Indonesian military and the West Papua National Liberation Army. And as a result, there is a serious humanitarian crisis going on right now. We have seen over 50,000 people being displaced. We have seen the impact of it. As a result, people are being killed, and the region is heavily militarized. And we've seen our people being displaced on their own land. And there's so many problems associated with the special autonomy law in West Papua. And the thing that I don't really understand is that after you pass the special autonomy law on the 15th, and then you would think that the human rights violation will stop. But this is not the case. It's still happening. So, like recently, there was a case in Merauke where a young deaf and mute person was beaten, was stabbed, and was abused by the Indonesian military in Merauke. And also in Iberia, where people, the civilians, the Papuans were mishandled by the heavily armed Indonesian police. So there's so many cases of we've seen now, coming up after the law was passed in Jakarta on the 15th. So you try to question, like, what sort of special autonomy law they're trying to introduce in West Papua. So what we've seen now is the moment they commit a crime, a serious crime against our people, they immediately the supervisor or the Indonesian hierarchy or the military in somewhere in Jakarta would send an apology to the victim. And this is for the case of the young man that was the mute and deaf person that was abused in Merauke and West Papua, and also recently in Iberia where the police had to apologize to the victims. So I'm just beginning to question whether why are they why we are seeing this increase in the human rights violation when this is a special autonomy law. They're trying to revise. They're trying to extend another 20-year period of special autonomy law because we all know from when the special autonomy law was introduced in 2001, we've seen an increase in the human rights violations being committed by Indonesian military and police against our people. And endless crimes being committed. And the reports have gone to UN, and since 2017, UN has requested for access to visit West Papua, and up until now, Indonesian hasn't opened given the access for UN to visit West Papua. So I'm really very frustrated here with the Papuan, so-called Papuan, senator, people like Jan Mandanas, um, and his friends, they should be held accountable for these ongoing human rights violations in West Papua. But they know very well that the people of West Papua have actually rejected this law, and we all know this is the tactic that the Indonesian government will be doing. They will be using Papuans to ensure that this special autonomy law they will continue to hang on and colonize the people of West Papua. So I'm so sick to stomach, after seeing the recent reports of increased human rights violations again in West Papua. And I'm just wondering, like, this is the revised special autonomy law. They're trying to introduce another special autonomy law in West Papua, and here we are seeing another increased human rights violations being committed. So yeah, so this is where we need to really question this special autonomy law, why they're trying to reintroduce the law that has already filed, where the people of West Papua have rejected it, and they're trying to force it upon our people. So um, the people of West Papua have spoken. There was a petition that went around. Over 700,000 people, 700,000 people, 700,000 plus people have actually signed a petition. Over 150 stakeholders have also voiced and raised the concern that they've rejected these revised laws. So what we're seeing is that Jakarta is not listening to the wish of the West Papuan people. They're basically doing things, on their own without engaging our people, and they're trying to force this law upon our people when our people have actually rejected it. So we would like to appeal to the international community, to our leaders in our region, the UN, to be aware of the game that Indonesian government will be playing, the tactics that they'll be going around, fooling everyone, lying in front of the world leaders at UN, saying that the people of West Papua have accepted the revised special autonomy law. In fact, we haven't. We have rejected this law, and Indonesian government will be going around telling all the bullshits about the revised law in West Papua. So again, the revised special autonomy law will not eliminate the ongoing human rights violation in West Papua. And what we've seen now, after the law was passed, we've seen an increase in the human rights cases in West Papua. So this is very frightening. The way things are going on in West Papua, we feel that our people are being trapped. Their human rights, their dignity has been trampled on. Their human rights have been taken away, and the freedom of expression, the freedom of assembly, freedom of movement is being restricted by the Indonesian security forces and its military in West Papua. So we are demanding on international community, especially UN, to make a visit to West Papua immediately so they can see for themselves the situation on the ground in West Papua. Currently, we've got about 50,000 people being displaced because of this ongoing war in West Papua between West Papua National Liberation Army, TPN-PB, and the Indonesian military. So this ongoing military operations is targeting mainly the highlands regions in West Papua, and we have seen mass people being displaced from their homes. We have seen villages being destroyed. We have seen food gardens being destroyed. We have seen children being killed. We have seen pastors being killed. We have seen priests being killed. So there is endless, cases of human rights violations being committed by Indonesian security forces, and nothing is done about it. I mean, where is UN? These are the world bodies that we all looked upon for help, and I'm just trying to question where is the role of UN, in such cases. So we would like to appeal to international community to take the situation in West Papua very seriously, because if nothing is done, the people of West Papua will be wiped away from their own land. So once again, we would like to appeal to the international community, especially UN, to make an agent visit to West Papua immediately, and also I would like to extend my appreciation and thank you to all our international friends, supporters who've been standing with us all this time in lobbying for us, in advocating for our rights, and without your help and support, we wouldn't have come this far, fight for freedom. So thank you so much for your love, for your prayers, for your support. We all know that the struggle of the West Papuan people is a righteous struggle, and we know that God Almighty is with us, and we will win this fight because we are fighting for something that is rightfully ours, and we are standing on the right path. And if God is for us, then who can be against us? So we believe that the freedom will come one day, and it will be because of people like you who have stood faithfully with us and have fought for us and have defended us and have lobbied for us, advocate for us. So thank you so much for your love, your support. And well, I would like to appeal to the people of West Papua during this time. We are going through many problems, difficulties, and we need to be mindful of our surroundings, where we go. We have to be very careful before we go out. We need to pray and commit our daily activities or plan to God Almighty, so that when we are out and about, we are being protected by God. And so it's just a word of encouragement to all of us to be careful. We are fighting against dark forces, and we believe that that if God is for us, then who can be against? We're gonna win this fight. So once again, we would like to appeal again to all our international friends, our leaders, to advocate for us, especially to push to UN the issue with Papua, because we need to have the West Papuan issue put back on the decolonization list, because the process that UN started, I mean the Dutch started in the early 60s, because UN was well, Dutch studied the decolonization process in West Papua, and they never completed that process. So UN Resolution 1514, that's the foundation of our struggle, because Dutch Dutch was supposed to complete the decolonization process in West Papua, but they didn't complete it, and then they moved on to this so-called New York Agreement without involving the people of West Papua. So everything was just basically, down without the involvement of the West Papuan people. So but our people are basically denied all their rights, and what is basically right for them. So this is really against the human rights of the West Papuan people, and we would like to appeal to UN, especially to ensure that what happened in the past, for example, in 1969 Act of Free Choice, that need to be revisited again and correct that mistake, because according to the UN system of voting on international law, when you have a referendum, you need to get all the adults over the age of 18 to participate in the referendum. what happened in 1969 was illegal, was actually um, against international law. And how on earth did UN allow this to go ahead and then, let Indonesia control this whole, took over this whole referendum process? So I think the UN needs to come out now. And they shouldn't be silent anymore. They need to admit that what happened in the past was wrong and correct the mistake of the past and give the Papuan people the opportunity, their rights that is guaranteed under international law. So once again, would like to appeal to our international friends again, especially UN. The Indonesian government will be going around um, telling you guys that the people of West Papua have actually accepted the revised law, but in fact, that is not true. That is a lie. The people of West Papua have rejected the revised special autonomy law and have demanded the right of self-determination. So, over 700,000 people who signed the petition have actually demand for the right of self-determination. We've got about 150 stakeholders inside West Papua. We've got the local government have also rejected this revised law. We've got the Papuan People's Council, Majelis Rakyat Papua. This is the legitimate body that was established during the introduction of the special autonomy law in 2001, where MRP, or Majelis Rakyat Papua, or in English we say Papuan People's Council, they're the only legitimate body that can speak on behalf of the West Papuan people. They will listen to the people, and whatever the people wants, they will relate that or they bring that message to Jakarta, central government in Jakarta, or the local parliament in West Papua. So they haven't said anything, and Jakarta has gone ahead and passed this revised law when Papuan People's Council have listened to the voice of the West Papuan people, and the people have said that they've rejected that revised law, and they've demanded for the right of self-determination. So what we've seen is Jakarta has actually violated Article 77 of the Special Autonomy Law, where it says that only MRP, or the Majelis Rakyat Papua, or the Papuan People's Assembly, they're the only legitimate body that can make a decision, or they can speak on behalf of the people of West Papua on what they want, and they will make the presentation to the local government. So in this case, the people have rejected the revised special autonomy laws. So this is where MRP has now stood up and have actually said that they will defend the rights of the West Papuan people. And the recent video by the chairman that we have seen, they've actually mentioned that in reality the central government in Jakarta has no right to force this revised law or to enact this law when the people have actually rejected this revised law. So once again, thank you again for watching this video. I will be coming every now and then just to update you all on the situation in West Papua, and I thought I would just highlight the current situation where we have seen an increase in the human rights violations now in West Papua after they passed the revised law of the bill on the 15th of July. So it's no different to the special autonomy law that was introduced in West Papua in 2001. It's just similar. We are seeing the increase in the human rights violations. So there's nothing to be proud about. There's nothing for the people of West Papua to be happy, or it's just what we've seen is the same whole regime that will continue to suppress, deny the people of West Papua their rights to freedom. They will basically restrict our freedom of assembly, movement of speech. And what we've seen now in West Papua, they've used COVID-19 as an excuse to disperse, meetings, rallies that are happening in West Papua, so that the revised special autonomy law will be accepted by the people. When in fact, people are so angry, they're not happy about it, and we have seen the rallies across West Papua where people are coming out and protesting and rejecting this law, and they're being arrested by Indonesian security forces with the backup of the military and the militia group, the Indonesian militia groups that are being set up by Indonesian military and police in West Papua. So our people are basically do not have that the freedom, the space, the democratic space to speak up and to voice the concerns. So it's really sad. The situation in West Papua is getting worse, and once again, we'd like to appeal to the international community to take the matter to look at the situation in West Papua very seriously, because the situation has gone from bad to worse, and we urgently need the support from the international community. Thank you.